When I was about 5 months along, I got hit with a cancer diagnosis. And meanwhile, Noah was still busy caring for that girl he was crushing on. He claimed, Lily saved my life, and I just couldn't sit around doing nothing for her. Surely you'd get it, right? In the end, I died. Noah was consumed by regret, dropping to his knees beside my body, apologizing over and over. At 5 months pregnant, I received the devastating news that I had late stage uterine cancer. The doctor's orders were brutal: abort the pregnancy immediately, remove my uterus, and then start heavy duty chemotherapy. I fought hard to keep my collapsing emotions in check, listening to the doctor's advice through tear blurred eyes, unable, or maybe just unwilling, to accept what was happening. Then, out of the blue, Noah calls, I've got plans tonight, don't wait up for me. And hey, remember you're pregnant, so make sure you rest early. I just stayed quiet because I knew full well that tonight was the night his so called white moonlight Lily was heading back to her homeland. I tried to ask, Nora, I'm not feeling so hot. Can I skip it? But he replied, I'll try to be back early. His voice was soft yet dismissive, never asking about what was really wrong with me, and his tone quickly turned curt. Noah, I'm driving. Gonna hang up first, he said. He didn't bother with any lengthy explanations. He always had the final word in our relationship, just like in our marriage. We'd been childhood sweethearts. I had loved him for years, even though deep down, he always harbored a crush. I confessed my love countless times from childhood into adulthood, only to be rejected over and over. It wasn't until his white moonlight married someone else that he finally gave up his futile chase and tied the knot with me. After we married, I did my darndest to be the perfect wife, trying to please him in every way. And over 3 years, I even began to feel his heart slowly open up to me, especially when I became pregnant. He started showing genuine care, surprising me with gifts on birthdays and important holidays. Our relationship got sweeter by the day. But fate threw a massive curveball at that moment. Cancer struck, and the baby I'd dreamed of had to be lost. The husband I'd loved with every fiber of my being was now cheating on his pregnant wife with his crush. Late one night, I was jolted awake by a nightmare. I was lying on a cold operating table while the doctor was extracting the baby from my stomach, all drenched in blood, and I swear I could even hear the baby's distressed cries. I broke out in a cold sweat, surrounded by nothing but emptiness and chill. Noah's promise to come home early turned out to be a lame excuse. I tried to calm myself down and grabbed my phone, diving into a chat for a distraction. At 11 p.m., Lily posted on social media with the caption, "The best in hometown after so many years." She snapped a selfie, her fingers intertwined, though one hand was barely in view. I recognized it immediately because of that tuft of white on her index finger, just like Noah's. Then, at 2 a.m., Noah finally got home. He moved quietly, careful not to wake me up. When he went to shower, I deliberately looked away. Sorry, did I wake you? He asked, apologizing in his gentle tone. I inquired, is Lily back? Noah's voice dropped heavy for a second, and then he simply said, It's late. Go to sleep. I pressed further. Can't you see her in the future? Noah was to Noah aback, then slightly irritated, retorting, What are you worrying about? You know better. Stop making a big fuss. It's all in the past with me and her. 10 fingers intertwined. That counts as the past? I snapped. It was just a game, Sophie. Don't blow things out of proportion at this late hour. How ironic. I'll be crashing on the sofa tonight. With that, Noah slammed the door hard, the first time he'd ever lost his cool at me since I got pregnant because of Lily, all because he was embarrassed. After that brief clash, Noah and I carried on with our days as usual. He was always busy while I went to every prenatal checkup by myself. So when I was diagnosed with uterine tumors at my 4-month checkup, he had no idea. I'd gotten used to thinking he wouldn't want to worry, so I kept it to myself until the very end, almost like it was a cruel joke. Today I went back to the hospital and asked the doctor, Can't I skip the abortion? He shook his head. No. What about waiting until after the baby is born for surgery? The doctor frowned. Your body can't hold on that long. You might wait 1 or 2 months, but it's best to act now. I couldn't bear the thought of losing the one child I could ever have. I wanted more time with him, even if it was just one more day. I pleaded, Noah, let's wait. After leaving the hospital, I called Noah. Can you clock off on time today? He replied, What's up? I said, It's been ages since we had dinner together. He agreed, signaling the end of our brief Cold War, and that night, Noah came home right on schedule. I cooked his favorite meal, and we had dinner in silence until, bam! Noah's phone rang, interrupting my flow. He got up, glanced at it, then went out to the balcony for the call. 5 minutes later, he returned, eating noticeably faster, and said, I've got something to attend to. I asked, Is it Sophie? He replied firmly, No. His tone was serious. Stop being suspicious, all right? I wish you'd spend more time with me and the baby. If you're bored, maybe your folks can come over, or you can crash at their place. I just feel more at ease knowing you're not alone. I gave a sad, quiet smile as he headed toward the door, not even glancing back, promising to make time for me later. He quickly laced up his shoes and left without another word. I actually noticed that on his phone screen as he tried to hide it in a hurry. Lily's name was flashing. Only Lily could twist Noah into lying for her. I didn't mention it then, but I begged. Noah, can you stick around for just another 2 months? Just 2 months. After that, I won't ask for more. That night, Noah was back before 10 o'clock. After his shower, he lay down beside me, pulling me into his arms while pretending to be asleep. He smelled so fresh from the shower, and his warm body pressed against my back. But inside, my heart felt suddenly filthy and icy. The next morning, we had breakfast together. He complimented. The porridge you made is still so damn delicious. I was born into a good family, and Noah came from a respectable background. Our marriage was practically a match made in heaven. But for him, I had become increasingly meek, learning to cook all sorts of dishes just to please him. Despite his fussy nature, I managed to win him over even with vegetables he used to hate. Can you pack me an extra bowl of porridge for lunch? He asked casually. I joked, Porridge for lunch? My stomach's been off lately, so a warm bowl would be just the comfort I need. And he laughed it off lightly. Every day I made his porridge and packed it for him to take to work. And lately, Noah seemed more attentive, getting home on time every day. I couldn't tell if he had truly let go of Sophie, or if his moral scruples were pulling him back to me. In recent days, I decided to let bygones be bygones. But just when I thought we could start fresh, I caught him in his office giving Sophie a warm, affectionate look as she ate the nutritious porridge I'd spent so much time perfecting. I glanced at my 5-month pregnant belly, remembering how I'd wake up at 5 a.m. every morning, sacrificing so much for him, and I couldn't help but laugh bitterly. Seeing me like that, Noah's eyes filled with panic. He walked over trying to explain, but no words came out. Then, to my shock, it was Lily who took the initiative, greeting me warmly and thanking me for making her that nutritious porridge every day. She mentioned that her stomach felt so much better after a few days, unlike that awful night when she was in pain and bawling. Apparently, Noah had rushed to her side that night because Sophie had a stomachache, and his sudden closeness to me was just his guilty conscience acting up. Between the three of us, I was the odd one out. Did I say something wrong? Lily asked cautiously, noticing my shifting expression and tearful eyes. She looked so vulnerable and innocent, which naturally stirred a protective instinct in people. Her life had been nothing but a series of misfortunes. Back in 8th grade, when Noah and I first met Lily, she was the transfer student in our class, timid and insecure, always hiding bruises and marks from her alcoholic father's beatings, and later bullied at school. Noah had come to her rescue and even fallen for her. Suddenly, I found myself as the third wheel. But in the end, Lily ended up marrying someone else and moving abroad. She said she wanted to distance herself from her past, her original family, as much as possible. Sorry, she apologized to me, her tone all too submissive. I was just so overplaying along with her games, especially since I'd never once come out on top. I marched straight into the office, grabbed the half-eaten porridge, and dumped it over Sophie's head. Lily's face went completely pale, and Noah roared, "Sophie, what the hell are you doing?" He shoved me aside, probably forgetting that I was 5 months pregnant. Or maybe he just didn't care, his mind only on Sophie. I leaned against the wall, enduring the searing pain in my abdomen. and watched as Noah tenderly took care of Sophie. My heart, once full of deep love, had now turned into cold fragments. I walked past them, detached, and I could hear Sophie muttering, "Noah, don't mind me. I'm pregnant. Go check on her. I'm really fine," even though she clung desperately to Noah's clothes. My tolerance and kindness finally broke. I thought it would just be 2 months, and then they'd be together. But now, I regret everything. I want Noah to rue this for the rest of his life. I want that scumbag man and his despicable woman to get what they deserve. I went back to the hospital. Noah's shove hadn't hurt me too badly, but the doctor said I needed surgery soon. When I got home, Noah was sitting on the couch with a bouquet of flowers on the coffee table and a lava cake, my favorite, in view. He saw me, got up, and came over with the flowers. "Sophie, I'm truly sorry for what happened today. I meant to say that the porridge was for Lily, but I was scared it would be misunderstood." I smiled, calm for a moment, but suddenly the uncontrollable Nora I used to feel every time he surprised me with a small gift vanished. Still, I accepted it and said, "It's lovely. I even got your favorite cake." He set the cake before me, and when I took a bite, it was overly sweet. Ever since I got pregnant, I'd hardly eaten sweets. Noah thought I'd forgiven him. He figured that if he treated me a little better, I might even be grateful for his presence. "Since you left today, Lily cried a lot, saying you were angry." Then Noah spoke bluntly. I continued eating the cake, keeping my emotions in check. "You know, she's always been sensitive about her original family, always afraid of offending people," he said. I remained silent, worried she'd harbor a lifetime of resentment because of my anger today. "Can't you just call Lily and say it's okay?" Noah said casually. Seeing my unusual mood, he quickly tried to explain, "Sophie, this has nothing to do with Lily. It's all on me, and I'll do better." I caught a glimpse of nervousness and embarrassment in his eyes. It was unbelievable to see Noah so contrite. Should I even be happy about it? "How are you going to do better? Never see her again?" I asked calmly. Noah hesitated for a second, then his voice rose. "Sophie, you should understand. Lily once saved my life. How can I just brush her off?" I laughed bitterly. "When did Lily save your life? Now she's back with no ties, abused by her ex-husband overseas, in poor health and battling mild depression, with only me to lean on." "So you're saying you see yourself as a savior?" I mocked. "When did you become so damn assertive?" he snapped. "No matter how many times I say it, my feelings for Lily are purely out of care. I don't have any of those filthy thoughts you think I do. And me? Don't I need care too? Must I beg for it?" I said coolly. "You're fine. What care do you need? Besides, don't you still have your parents? I told you to go to theirs, but you wouldn't listen." I stared at Noah's face, familiar yet strangely foreign. "Noah, whose husband are you now? Do you even know I'm pregnant? Do you know the baby in my stomach might not even make it?" I couldn't hold back any longer and blurted everything out. Noah's expression shifted from shock to cold indifference as he looked at me. "Sophie, you're being selfish, spinning lies just so I wouldn't have to take care of Lily, even cursing your own child. What I said is true. Even if it's true, it only means the child isn't meant to be with us. Even if I stay by your side, nothing will change. Cold and heartless, that's Noah." I glared at him. "Time and again, you crossed my line. Stop looking at me like that. Sophie, I'm doing my best to keep things peaceful. I don't want our home turning into chaos." Noah said slowly, "It's your fault for spilling porridge on Lily. Apologizing to her is the least you can do." "Noah, if you keep treating me like this, do you really think you'll regret it one day?" I asked him. "Sophie, I've been good enough to you," he said firmly, "or else I wouldn't still be here." So apparently, because he still felt some responsibility, he'd continue living with me. Otherwise, he'd have left for Lily long ago. "I'll make the call for you. Once you apologize to Lily, we can bury it all. Let's not mention it again. Remember, I'm still your husband, and you're still my wife. Our marriage continues." He said that as if it were a grand bargain. "And if I don't apologize, does that mean our marriage is over?" I asked calmly. Noah's eyes flashed with anger. Sophie, are you really pushing me? You're not just looking for an excuse to be with Lily, abandoning your pregnant wife without a shred of guilt, are you? Now that I've given you this chance, shouldn't you be grateful? You're sucking all the love out of us. His face Darnoa'd fiercely. Noah, aren't you doing the same? He shot back, giving me a withering look before slamming the door as he stormed out. I watched Noah's ruthless departure, feeling my heart crumble into ashes. That night, Lily posted another update, a shot from her living room capturing the full moon, with a faint figure barely visible on the balcony in the dim light. Lily sure loved playing these mind games. Finally, I messaged her privately, suggesting we meet the next day. She replied almost immediately with a curt, "Okay." The following day, we met at a coffee shop. It wasn't our first private encounter. I never thought I'd come back for one, did I? Lily sipped her coffee, looking smug. I never expected it either. Now that I'm back, you should divorce Noah, she stated matter-of-factly. Why? I asked. Because Noah's always been into me. Lily chuckled smugly. I was left speechless. I never got why you'd chase after Noah. If he really liked you, would I even be here? You're gorgeous from a good family, and there are plenty of fine men out there. So what makes Noah so special to you? Lily's face dripped with sarcasm. He's nothing special. Then why are you still after him? I pressed. Because I have no choice, she replied, without any pretense. In her eyes, I was never her match, a divorced woman with no elite background, while Noah didn't mind being with me. I never planned on wrecking your marriage, but Noah always ended up running back whenever I called. Did you ever really like Noah? I asked. Would I have liked him just to marry someone else? All those plans of leaving the country and going abroad were just about the wealth he had over Noah, Lily said bluntly. You knew that back in school, didn't you? I pressed. Yeah, I knew. But to spare Noah's pride, I kept it hidden, she admitted. It all felt so twisted now. Too bad Noah never saw who truly cared about him. But this time, I was determined to stick around. So, Sophie, let it go. You can't compete with me, Lily stated confidently, as if she could have Noah anytime she wanted. But she didn't know that people change, especially when facing their mortality. I stared coldly at her smug face. Have you forgotten I'm pregnant? Lily's expression shifted instantly. Besides the legal mess of divorcing while pregnant, do you really think Noah would dare defy society by leaving his wife for you? I continued to mock her. Or do you suppose once I have the baby, Noah would just up and ditch his wife for you? I wasn't holding back. I'm not denying that Noah has feelings for you, but you're way too late now. Lily gritted her teeth into silence. Check, please, I called out to the waiter. After settling the bill, I told Lily, I've got your share covered. Think of it as compensation for not satisfying Noah during my pregnancy and letting you score his attention. With that, I left gracefully despite her boiling fury. Once out of her sight, I took a deep breath, realizing I wasn't as collected as I pretended. Trembling, I pulled a recording device from my bag. But that wasn't enough. I needed more, so freaking much more. I was hell-bent on making Noah suffer like never before. When I got home, I called my best friend, Nora. We'd been classmates back in junior high. She'd witnessed the drama of our love affair and always told me to let Noah go, claiming he wasn't worth it. But I was so crazy about him, even surrounded by better men. I clung on for dear life. After years of unrequited love, I finally gave up on that notion. It's your birthday soon, right? I asked Nora over the phone. You remember me? Nora replied, sounding a bit bitter. I thought she'd been forgotten once I got involved with that jerk, Noah. Nora, who was always a strong, busy, and single woman, couldn't understand why I'd sacrificed so much for him. I need a favor, I explained, laying out the situation. Nora nearly couldn't believe it. Are you for real? You still think Lily isn't annoying enough? You want me to invite her to your birthday party? I thanked her and promised it wouldn't be an issue. At Nora's birthday, I showed up pregnant, and sure enough, Lily was there too, along with a bunch of old classmates teasing Nora for inviting so many people. given how busy she usually was. Nora graciously explained that she just wanted a big reunion since she couldn't attend the official one, encouraging everyone to have a good time. The atmosphere was warm until one classmate pointed out Noah's absence and asked why I was alone and heavily pregnant. Noah couldn't make it today, but hey, we're all old pals, nothing to worry about, I replied with a smile. Then Noah surprised everyone by showing up before dinner. When he sat next to me, he coldly asked why I hadn't mentioned Nora's birthday to him. I retorted sarcastically, but he stayed silent for the rest of the evening, even as our classmates prodded him to drink and chat. During a quick bathroom break, I overheard Lily plotting something with a menacing tone about Noah. When I came out, a sudden push from behind sent me crashing to the floor, leaving me with a painful injury and a trickle of blood. Lily's panicked scream echoed in the bathroom, drawing a crowd, including Noah. He immediately knelt beside me as others called for an ambulance. Ignoring Lily's frantic apologies, I was rushed to the hospital with Noah by my side. While we waited, Nora scolded Noah for not being there sooner. The tension was thick as doctors examined me, with Noah anxiously asking about the baby's well-being. Despite the uncertainty, Noah stayed silent, his concern clear. Nora was beside herself with anger, questioning my carelessness, while Lily kept apologizing over and over. Finally, as the ambulance sped us to the hospital, the gravity of the situation hit everyone hard, leaving us all on edge and filled with remorse. I could barely speak from the pain, but I still managed to glance at Noah. Nora couldn't stand my lovesick look, yet she dutifully said, "Noah, Sophie is calling you." Noah hurried over, his eyes wide with shock at my bleeding state, his concern seeming genuine for a moment. "Don't worry, I'm here. Everything will be okay." "Noah, do you still want this child?" I managed to ask, struggling through the pain. Noah was visibly stunned. I remembered the Nora in his eyes when we first learned I was pregnant, back when having a baby was supposed to be our next big step. But now, he hesitated. "Don't overthink it. Everything will be fine," he said, not giving a straight answer, merely trying to soothe me. Without that child, he claimed I could finally be with Lily. Nora interrupted. "Stop thinking about random stuff. Just be quiet and rest. You're heading for the operating room soon." I kept my gaze on Noah as he added, "I married you, so I'm responsible. Now, hush and rest." But as the ambulance neared the hospital, Noah abruptly turned to leave. "Noah, can't you be a decent human being?" Nora roared. At that moment, I was just being loaded into the ambulance while doctors and nurses rushed me to the ER. Meanwhile, Noah spun around and left in the opposite direction. "I'll be back in a bit. I just called Sophie's folks. They're coming over," he explained hurriedly. "Where else would you go? Your wife is like this. Where else do you want to be?" Nora grabbed Noah, trying to hold him back. I couldn't help but chuckle sadly through my tears, not from pure sadness, but from the raw, searing pain in my abdomen. It was the first time I seriously wanted to end it all. Then Leo called, saying that Lily was all over the place, emotionally unstable due to my fall, blaming herself nonstop, wandering around the streets, and nearly getting hit by cars multiple times. "I need to go pick her up and get her sorted out at home," Noah explained. "After I handle her, I'll be right back." Nora was livid. "No way! What does Lily have to do with you? It's Sophie who's your wife. You should be by her side." But Noah retorted, "Nora, that's between us. You don't need to meddle." Clearly, Noah was getting angrier, his voice rising as he said, "Do you really think that woman Lily is any good? She seduced you back then, and all that bullying in school? It was all her act." Nora snapped, "Enough! I don't need you telling me what kind of person Lily is." Noah ignored Nora. "You can leave if you want, Nora. As long as Sophie agrees, I'll let you go." With gritted teeth, Noah rushed to my side and grabbed my hand. I saw his eyes turn red with urgency, and for a split second, I wanted to pull away from his grip. I don't know why, but I suddenly felt so filthy. "Sophie, I'll be back in a jiffy. Your folks will be here soon. You'll be okay," Noah assured me urgently. "But Noah, how do you know I'll be okay?" I asked, barely managing the words through the pain. "And what about Lily? She's definitely going to be in trouble." He replied, "You're in the hospital with all these doctors around, so you'll be just fine." But Lily? Well, she's got only me. Only me? I whispered. Yeah, only me, he insisted. I muttered, but Noah, you know what? The place with the most deaths in the world is this damn hospital, softly adding, you won't, it's just a minor operation. Even if the baby is lost, it doesn't matter. What if I don't want you to go? I asked. Sophie, can't you be a bit more tolerant? I told you before. Lily saved my life, and I just can't stand by if something happens to her. Noah was clearly getting impatient. If I die, will you finally be at peace? Don't force me, okay? He snapped, his voice curt and irritable. Whatever happens today, I've got to see Lily first. Since you made up your mind, what can I do? Just don't regret it, Noah. Never regret it. And with that, he didn't stick around. He bolted out like he didn't have a second to spare. Then came what would later be known as Sophie's epilogue. I accidentally fell while pregnant. I was to Noah to the hospital, and then I got a call from a classmate saying Lily was in a complete emotional tailspin. Lily, who'd had a rough start in life that made her super shy and suspicious, wasn't exactly the type to even entertain suicidal thoughts. Unlike me, who came from a wealthy, harmonious background. I never imagined I'd end up spending more time with her, thinking she needed me more. But death has a way of crashing in when you least expect it. I never thought Sophie would actually die during surgery. I was with Lily, comforting her during one of her wild outbursts when her emotions just spiraled out of control. She cried all night, and I almost forgot that Sophie was in the emergency room until Nora called. On the phone, Nora's voice was hoarse as she said, Noah, congratulations. The baby didn't make it. My heart ached suddenly. I had thought the baby might not survive when Sophie bled so much at the hospital, but it was clear now. It was impossible to save them. I wasn't even sure if I wanted the baby anymore. Deep down, I knew that if the child didn't make it, I'd have the strength to divorce Sophie and be with Lily. Although Lily never outright said it, I could sense she wanted us to reunite. So when Sophie asked Noah in the ambulance if he still wanted the baby, he hesitated, unable to give a clear answer. Now that it was truly gone, my heart felt empty. Am I happy now? Can I finally be with Lily without guilt? Nora's voice dripped with sarcasm. It's not like I didn't want it. I snapped back weakly. Nora, I know you're one of Sophie's best friends, but this is between me and Noah. Outsiders shouldn't stick their noses in. A couple? Nora sneered. In that mocking tone, I detected a hint of sorrow. I really don't understand what Sophie saw in you, Noah. Do you even deserve her? Nora added, Noah, you don't need anyone's judgment over Sophie and me. I replied firmly, the child is gone. I know how to comfort her. That's enough, Nora shot back without emotion. Sophie no longer needs you. Then she abruptly added, Nora, I snapped. Who did she think she was, dictating how Sophie and I should be together? For a moment, I was stunned. I couldn't believe what I'd just heard. It felt like a bolt out of the blue. Noah, you're free now, Nora declared before hanging up, leaving me with the phone frozen in my hand. The mix of emotions was indescribable, a piercing pain spreading through me like thousands of needles. How could Sophie be gone? Medicine these days is so advanced. It was just supposed to be a miscarriage, right? Noah, what's wrong with you? Lily approached, concern clear in her eyes, asking, What's the matter? Are you crying? Did something happen? And yeah, I was crying, tears streaming down my face. I turned to leave, but Noah asked, Where are you going? Lily wrapped her arms around me, saying, Didn't we agree to spend tonight together? I'd be scared if you left. Please don't go. I felt this weird protective urge for Lily. She had a way of making me forget everything and treating me well, but at that moment, I just felt annoyed and smothered by her. Pushing her away, I said, Sophie is dead. Lily froze in disbelief, mirroring my shock. I left her place in long, heavy strides toward the hospital. On the way, I couldn't shake the thought that maybe Nora was purposely trying to rile me up since she was Sophie's closest friend, and I hadn't been exactly kind to Sophie. But nothing hit me as hard as seeing Sophie's lifeless body on the hospital bed, her face as pale as a ghost, with a still, fully formed fetus lying next to her. The overwhelming grief made me feel utterly incapable of coping. How could she be gone? How could Sophie just vanish? I reached out to touch her, but her father swung a punch at me. In that moment, I felt nothing. No pain, just an immense, numbing grief. Her father kept berating me, accusing me of having a heart of a wolf, and insisting I owed her. Yes, I owed Sophie everything. If only she could wake up and let me make things right, I thought, falling to my knees. I'd never imagined that Sophie's death would hit me so hard, leaving me as if the sky had come crashing down in. I knew deep down that I never truly loved her. I always believed I loved Lily, who'd once saved my life. Being with Sophie was more of a compromise, but now, with her gone, why did I feel so tortured? I knelt there, overwhelmed by sorrow and guilt, feeling completely consumed. I don't know how long I stayed there. Her parents eventually took Sophie and the fetus away, not letting me follow, saying I wasn't worthy, that I'd only taint her journey to the afterlife. At some point, Lily appeared by my side, holding me as she wept, saying she couldn't bear to see me self-destruct, insisting that Sophie's death wasn't my fault. Sophie's death was just an accident, she repeated. Even if I had stayed at the hospital, Sophie would have died. But why did I feel so guilty, so breathless, as if I were carrying the weight of all my sins? Lily gently pulled me up. Noah, don't torment yourself. The one's gone. Let's move on together. Then Nora's voice cut through our quiet corridor, saying, Scum and a wretch, future plans to be good. Lily turned to face Nora, pleading, Nora, Noah's in so much pain. Please, can you stop? Even if I was sorry for Sophie, I begged, please spare Noah. All right, for you, I'll go after you, Nora agreed bluntly. Suddenly, the quiet corridor was shattered by a recorded conversation between Lily and Sophie. My body trembled visibly as I heard Sophie's voice, sending shivers down my spine. I turned to Nora, the voices playing from her phone. It was clear, Sophie wasn't alive. As I listened to their exchange, buried emotions surged up. Lily grew frantic, yelling at Nora, What the hell are you doing? Turn it off, turn it off. Scared now? Nora chuckled. Didn't you say you were ready for this? Turn it off. It's not real. You better shut it off right now. Lily lunged for Nora's phone, and the two of them tangled in a struggle. Noah, if you want to know the truth, you better get this wench off me, Nora cursed at me. I rose roughly, pulling Lily away. Let me go, Noah, let me go. It's not real, it's not real. Lily was frantic, her face flushed and twisted. This isn't the Lily I know. I always thought she was delicate, like a breeze that could knock her over. Turns out, what are you scared of? Nora challenged her. I don't want Noah to misunderstand me. Stop trying to sow discord between us, Lily screamed. Shut up, shut up. Nora coldly ignored her, and then, almost as if she were reciting a twisted poem, Lily said, Listen carefully. Would I still love him if I could marry another man? All that talk about leaving my family and going abroad, it was all a lie, just because that guy was richer than Noah. You knew it all long back in school, didn't you? Too bad Noah is blind. He can't tell who really cares about him. Thankfully, this time, I'm determined to be with him. So, Sophie, let go. Nobody can compete with me. And with that, the voice faded into silence, leaving the hallway eerily still. I must have looked terrifying, with my eyes red and swollen. I looked at Lily, my voice raw. No, it's not like that, Noah. Believe me, this isn't my true self. I only said those things to upset Sophie. She was always pining over you, and that's why I said them. In a flash, I slapped Lily hard across the face. She was sent sprawling to the floor by the force of the blow, staring at me in disbelief, tears streaming down her cheeks. I'd never seen Lily cry before. I always thought she was invincible, but that moment, I felt nothing but utter revulsion. Can't handle it, Nora quipped, as if we were watching a twisted comedy. Want to see even more explosive stuff? I clenched my fists, not really wanting to scare her, but I forced myself to nod, to unearth the cruel, bleeding truths hidden away. See for yourself, Nora said, handing me her phone. I played the video, a recording of Sophie and Lily in the bathroom just before Sophie's incident that night. In the footage, Sophie looked vibrant and alive, until suddenly, Lily forcefully shoved the defenseless, pregnant Sophie to the ground. I caught a glimpse of a sinister smile on Lily's face, followed by a terrified scream. I couldn't help but laugh, tears streaming down my face as I watched it all unfold. Lily looked shocked as she saw the video on my phone, her face turning ashen. No, it's not true, Noah. Listen to my explanation. No, it was Sophie. She set me up. How else could this happen? It must have been her design, she stammered. So you got caught red-handed doing something nasty, and now you're blaming someone else? Are you seriously that shameless? Nora's voice was icy. Noah, believe me, I pushed Lily away. She made me sick to my stomach. I've sent you everything. Whether you want to report it to the cops is up to you. Honestly, if I hadn't found this evidence, she probably would have hidden it forever. I clenched my fists, my heart shattering with pain. Let me tell you 3 things. First, at the school picnic when you nearly fell into the river rapids, it was Sophie who risked everything to save you and drag you to shore. When you woke up, you wrongly assumed it was Lily. If you don't believe me, just ask the classmates who were there. They all saw it. But how could you even ask? In your heart, the one who risked their life to save you could only be Lily. Second, Lily purposely drew your attention when she was bullied at school. You probably didn't know the person bullying her was actually her best friend, who she still keeps in close touch with. Check her phone if you don't believe me. Her chat history will show it. Third, Sophie was diagnosed with late-stage uterine cancer a month ago. Afraid of worrying you, she kept it hidden until now. The doctor advised her to have an abortion for treatment, but because she'd have to have her uterus removed and could never conceive again, she insisted on having a child for you, even if it cost her her life. But in the end, it was a tragic outcome that took 2 lives. Nora glared at me as if I were a complete fool. Noah, after all these years, I've honestly never seen anyone as ridiculous as you. She turned and left, as if thinking I wasn't even worth her time. But Sophie, she sacrificed her life for me. I turned toward Lily, whose once familiar face now looked grotesque with guilt and shock. I picked up my phone and dialed, "Hello, is this the police station? I need to report a deliberate murder." Lily frantically tried to snatch the phone from my hand. "Noah, please, don't call the cops. I beg you, I can't go to jail," she cried. "Everything I did was for our future. I love you. Now that Sophie is gone, we can finally be together as it should be." Lily couldn't form a response, and before I knew it, I grabbed her by the neck. Her face flushed an alarming red, her eyes wide with terror. She tried to push me away, but I wouldn't let go. When you schemed against me, when you pushed Sophie down, did you ever feel scared? Did you ever imagine this day would come? Did you ever think you'd face retribution? I hissed. "Lily, we should go and accompany Sophie and the baby who never had a chance. I killed you, inch by inch, watching you lose your breath until you gave up, until you just went still." And as I stared down at Lily's lifeless form, I felt strangely empty. No fear, no sadness, just a cold satisfaction of revenge. Later, the police arrested me. They charged me with intentional murder, seriously, a crime that usually warrants the death penalty. I deserved to die, I thought. But then Sophie's epilogue unfolded. I didn't die. I bled profusely on the operating table, teetering on the edge of death multiple times. But the doctors somehow pulled me back. They saved my life, though I lost so much of it. The baby, naturally, didn't survive. Maybe it was never meant to be. After emerging from the operating room, I asked my parents, Nora, and the medical staff to help me stage a little drama. I just said I wanted to completely cut ties with Noah without giving away too many details, and they were all too willing. That's when the scene of Noah kneeling beside what looked like my corpse happened. Later, my parents took me to the hospital room while Nora left, fully aware of what she was up to. Nora's stubborn personality wouldn't let Noah off the hook easily. I could practically see her making Noah feel so guilty and remorseful. It was an unspo Noah understanding between us. Or you could say it was all part of my plan. Just like the time I recorded Lily pushing me down, that day when I pretended to be pregnant, I knew Lily would do anything to get rid of the baby I carried. The child was never meant to be, and I used it as bait to trap Lily. I went to the restroom, set up a hidden camera in the corner to capture every moment, and waited for the fish to bite. Sure enough, Lily played right into it. I bled heavily and was rushed to the hospital just as I predicted, and Lily did everything she could to get Noah to leave me. Everything was meticulously planned. I handed the USB drive to Nora, telling her to check out its contents ASAP. Along with the recordings, I even left her a little hint, a video of Lily framing me that could be downloaded from my camera app. Nora knew exactly what to do next. Later, word came that Noah had killed Lily and was arrested. I wasn't shocked at all, given Noah's nature. How could he endure being deceived for so long? Coupled with the guilt over me and the baby, he ended up taking that extreme step. It was kinda expected, a form of twisted retribution. Now, after that, I transferred to one of the most prestigious oncology hospitals in China for further surgery and chemo. Over the course of a year, the doctors said my condition was stabilized. They even advised I take better care of myself. Living for another 10 or even 8 years like a normal person wasn't impossible. When I returned from the hospital, I heard that Noah had been sentenced, not to death, but to life imprisonment. And let me tell you, life behind bars can be even more torturous. I didn't go to see him. I couldn't really pinpoint the exact moment, but maybe after that near-death experience on the operating table, I truly let go of Noah. That man was completely erased from my heart. There was no trace left. After all, life is precious, and in my remaining days, all I wanted was to live without regrets.